All right. We are here. I Never Knew TV live here with the one and only King Randall. Give thanks for everyone been supporting the channel from those times till now. And I want to say welcome to King Randall straight from Georgia, Albany, Georgia. King Randall, what's going on? You good? Can you hear me? I heard you before. Well, while King Randall is getting the audio situation
Should be
started,
good.
you good now? All right, cool,
Yeah.
man. So I want to say welcome to King Randall. How's everything?
Man, all is well. I have no complaints at all, man.
I'm glad to hear, and I'm glad to have you here. I reached out to the brother short term because I was reading an article about what's going down in a couple of states in regards to the cell phones, and he's the first person that popped in. So I appreciate you being here on such
Yes,
short
sir.
notice, right? Topic for tonight is should schools ban cell phone use, right? And before we even get into that, I want to explore what do you see as the overall impact of cell phone use on students, learning, behavior, and focus during the school day? And before you answer,
Mhm.
um, I think a lot of people are unaware that these apps are made for you to be on them. That is the business model. It's like a predatory business model when we really think about it.
Correct.
So, like, it's
Correct.
designed for you. And I think adults, we're in denial about our addiction to cell phones. So, we don't want to
Mhm.
accept that children struggle with it also. And there's another thing I
Right.
want to add before you start. A 2023 Common Sense Media report found that the average teenager receives 273 cell phone notifications per day.
Wow.
I think that's crazy, to tell you the truth.
It is. It is.
So
I
for
also
the
think it's more.
for the first question though is how is cell phone use impacting students' learning, behavior, and focus during the school day?
Well, for one, when people allow their children to be on phones consistently, and what I mean by consistently is like just at home, in the car, et cetera, it hurts their attention span to a point because these children are getting used to not being able to pay attention to something, and it's not even just at school. It's like now you can't get a kid to sit down or pay attention, etc., because they're used to scrolling on TikTok, seeing things so fast, and Facebook and Instagram is just everything's quick, fast, and in a hurry, and so they don't have the brain power anymore to be able to just pay attention to something. And not being able to pay attention can cost you your life. It can cost you many different things, your job, etc. And so it's very important, for us to pay attention to our children and their cell phone usage. And I mentioned before when I came on the show how we have many parental controls on phones that parents don't know how to use and they don't know about. Apple, Samsung, etc. They have very thorough parental controls on those phones, and most parents have no clue about it. They have no clue about the parental controls on the phones, and those phones can truly hurt your child. They're meeting up with people that you don't know they're meeting up with. They're hanging out with people and talking to people you don't know they're talking to. Same thing with the video games, etc. All these things have parental control on them. It's very important for parents to actually use those things. And sometimes, especially, it's usually always those parents that feel like their child isn't doing it. Oh, my child ain't doing that. Yes, your child is. Go look through your son's phone. Oh, my son would never. Yes, he would, especially him. He's the first one that would do it. My child ain't sending no new photos. Yes, your child is. He's and she's sending nude photos. Go check out their phones. I had a few parents like just go ask their children like were they doing those things, and they were shocked at the answers. And I'm just like, guys, like these phones are temptation. They are hurtful. And they are it's just truly bad stuff. And I really want people to realize how cell phones, especially, are contributing to just the lack of attention and really, I honestly think aiding autism and ADHD and all these things. Cell phones aren't helping that at all. Even for me, like my children are, we monitor their cell phone time, we monitor the different things that they do. I don't do cell phones. I don't do iPads, etc. I don't do none of that. Even with the Nintendo Switch, I have the little parental controls on it. They can only play for a certain amount of time, and they can only play certain games. And I monitor YouTube Kids and all that stuff. Like all this stuff that they're putting in our kids' head, and you notice it too because you start hearing your child say things you didn't teach them. Like, where you get that phrase from? I didn't teach you that. Where you get this from? I didn't teach you that. When you start saying that, or where this phrase come from? I never said that phrase. Where you get that phrase from? And they're learning things from kids at school. So it's a lot. And definitely cell phones are very much hindering our kids. But I will say they can be utilized to your advantage if you are teaching them in the proper manner how to use technology. It's very important for people to recognize how to use technology and to use it to your advantage. It's very important.
I want to jump back on this attention span, man, because as a former teacher and full-time educator, I would identify myself self-identity, right? Everybody self-identifying with something. The thing is, you can't be stimulated looking at something because remember, kids can't even look at a full Instagram video anymore. They're looking at maybe 3 to 7 seconds before they're flipping, right? You can't do that
Yep.
repetitively over and over in the morning and then expect someone to sit in
Yes.
front of and get instruction.
Correct.
And this is early in the morning, basically from they
Yep.
wake up until they get to school. So you figure about 2-3 hours of just being stimulated. And also too, man, there's you familiar with the reading concept chunking, right?
No.
Basically, man, they'll do like a whole lesson on a paragraph, right? They don't like read the whole text. Yeah, it's bugged out. But the thing is
Never
though,
heard of that.
yeah, the thing is though, man, is that like because you're so overstimulated. All right, listen, my buddy that works at the NBA, he was telling me that they're struggling trying to figure out how to get kids to watch the game because one, all their consumption is done on the phone, and when you're on the phone, you're constantly bombarded with different updates, different interruptions, text
Mm-hmm.
messages going back and forth to social media. So it's like you can't even watch something that's entertaining anymore.
Yep. It's very important how we recognize what it's doing to our attention span, even as adults. Sometimes I'm just like, if you ever put your phone down for like a couple hours and you just realize all you're doing for that next couple hours is reaching for your pocket, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's done strategically. And I've watched certain things about how people control algorithms and manipulate you to a point to where you really just need your phone, like you really need it. You really can't live without it. I almost think people would go through withdrawals if people like took phones like
They
for a
would.
day. I really think people would lose their minds. Like, truthfully, I truthfully think if they just had a day where they shut phones down, I think the earth would just, even in the US, they would lose their mind. They wouldn't know what to do, where to go, how to get places. I mean, I had kids who didn't even know their address, but they can tell you, how to manipulate all these apps or whatever like that. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. How backward we've gotten, and then parents defending the phone thing, like, oh, I need to check my son's location and blah 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 blah, and this and they make up all these excuses to not take the phone. But in reality, they're using phones to raise their children now. That's a big thing that's happening. Just handing them an iPad because it gets them out your face. Handing them the phone because it gets them out your face. Just letting them do whatever on the phone because it getting them out your face. And that's a horrible thing that's happening now because now they're not parenting and then wondering why their kids are learning so much. And man, I tell you, I'm like, hey, mama, that comes from that phone. Hey, mama, that comes from what are you doing on that iPad? Well, why is my son doing X, Y, Z? When's the last time you actually talked to him? Last time you actually spent some time with him besides letting him go play the game and give him an iPad or give him your phone just so he can get out your face? I don't appreciate stuff like that because you had to parent before. And so sometimes I know a lot of times we will be like, oh, well, this is happening because of XYZ. No, it's really because you don't want to parent. You don't want to be a parent. And so a lot of parents nowadays refuse to admit that they don't want to be parents. They just use phones, etc. And they want to be the Facebook parent. They want to go jump on Facebook Live and say, oh, look, my son's graduating. Oh, look at what he's doing on the football field and blah, blah, blah. But you ain't spent no time with your baby for real in years, not no real time, because you've given them pacifiers the whole time. So so you don't have to actually parent. I don't appreciate stuff like that.
This man gonna get me in trouble because I got a theory I'm gonna get to. But before I get to that theory, the iPad and the cell phone is the cheapest form
Mhm.
of babysitting, but it's the most costly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? But
Oh, that's heavy though. Yeah.
and I got a theory too. Whoever is on social media most with their child spends the least amount of time with their child. That's just my theory. Because if you're with the child all the time, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I definitely agree because, and to be frank, you can actually tell those parents who are just social media dads. For example, like me, you see me post my son pretty often. But most people also know that my job is centered around,
no, that ties in though. That's different. Yeah.
yeah, it's different, but you still can see the genuineness. This is why we go viral pretty often because you can see the genuine, nature, and you can see that my son actually looks up to me, and obviously he goes to my school, etc. So I'm, with him all the time. I coach his team, whatever. But you can tell like a lot of those parents who are solely just trying to be that social media parent. They have to show every little accolade and every little possible thing that they did. And oh, look, he blinked today. He brought me the remote. Like, oh my God, like they hype all this stuff that I would deem just regular. Like, I don't praise my son for regular stuff. I'm not posting that he did good at school. He's supposed to do good at school. Like, yeah, I'll post like some of his baseball clips, but I'm not posting him every day reading or posting his doing good at math. He's straight A's at school or whatever. But I don't care to post that. What you supposed to do or whatever like that. That's your last name. You're supposed to be doing that. But for the most part, you can literally just tell when something's not genuine. I mean, you can literally see it all over their face, all over their body language. And even just how the children are reacting, to their parents, you can tell like when they're actually around them and when they're not. I mean, it's not hard. Most humans can see it, especially if you're an actual parent. So,
and there's one thing before we move on to the next part. If someone does have a question on this particular or a comment on this particular question, please leave it in the chat. All right. Another thing with this attention span I'm noticing, or I noticed while I was in the classroom, is that children can never learn how to learn. They can't pick up their learning style because when you're looking at your phone every minute, one, you're not focused and you don't get in a groove to start to see like, the way that you learn and how you consume information. I think that's detrimental because what happens now is that as you get older and move on into life, you never learn the skill of learning.
Right.
Because you're constantly being distracted. You're constantly being distracted. You're constantly being distracted. And now when you're not distracted, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable just to like be like you have to be something stimulated.
Yeah, something got to be there, and I do that like purposely with my kids. Is just make them sit, like just sit down, and just don't do nothing. Don't turn TV on and just sit down somewhere, whatever like that. And they don't understand it, or they ride in the car and just sit there. My sons, we drove to San Antonio. You know what they did the whole time? Sat there. Like we didn't, and that was like a 12, 13-hour drive. They went to sleep, they woke up, they looking out the window, they talking to each other, but you know what they doing? Sitting there. Ain't no TV going, ain't no nothing happening. No, I'm not passing you my phone. Sit there. And so people are, like when I go give speeches or whatever, they'll wonder like, oh, how you get your kids? They so man, they just sit down the whole time. Yeah, because they learn how to sit down. Like nobody's doing that no more. Like it's constant stimulation. Like we're going to DC this weekend, and we're taking a charter bus. And I was thinking about letting them bring a Nintendo Switch or whatever. I was like, nah. You're going to sit on the bus, you're going to look out the window and talk to your friends. That's what you're going to do or whatever. Like, you're just going to be a normal kid or whatever because it's just small decisions or even like on the baseball field and, just making sure he's constantly paying attention, learning how to listen. A big thing, people like see us playing baseball and they think I'm just like, oh, he may not go to the league. I'm not doing baseball to make him go to the league. If he does, congrats. If he doesn't, he's learned all the lessons he needs to learn. Baseball is a sport of failure. You're going to fail pretty often. I mean, if not most times in baseball, but you learn how to fail. You learn how to pick yourself up. And also baseball is an individual but team sport. It's all about who got the ball or where the ball is going. It's all about you at that moment. So it's up to you to make the decision to help the team. So it's not like, you playing football and the lineman may not have to block this play because the ball ain't going, going that way. Or I may not have to go catch the ball because the quarterback may not be throwing it my way. Or I may not have to, I can lean on somebody to blame. You can't blame nobody in baseball. The ball come to you, you miss it. It ain't nobody to blame. Ain't nobody to point the finger at. Ain't nobody. No, it is your fault. It is you, especially after you let go of the ball and you throw it to somebody else. Now it's their turn. It's their turn to carry the team or whatever. So you throw the ball from second to first. Now it's the first baseman's job to do what? catch it. So it's all about, that individuality, but team on the sport. So I can't lean on nobody in basketball. I mean, I can't lean on nobody in baseball. I can lean on them in basketball. I can lean on people in football. I can lean on them in hockey. I can lean on somebody in almost all the sports, but I can't lean on nobody in baseball and boxing. It's all about me. So it's very important for them to pay attention, learn to listen, and that's why we do the certain things that we do that you see on socials, and constant working and constant training, so that way he becomes teachable. People, he can listen to people, he does good in school, etc., because I've taught him how to listen, I taught him how to pay attention. It's very important.
I want to get to the next question, but I wanted to ask you about sports, because I had a lot of people on recently who was speaking about youth sports culture. What
Mhm.
have you been observing now since you're out there? Because people tell me it's pretty wild with youth sports right now, specifically with the parents.
Yeah, youth sports is a different thing now. I know it's a big money grab for the most part. They be charging a lot of money for youth sports now, especially in the baseball arena. It's a different thing. For right now, my son is 6. I'm seeing a few things, but I've been noticing some things up in the older age groups. I do think people aren't living in reality when it comes to sports with their children. For example, me with my kids, if I tell you my son's good, he truly is good. If I tell you he was trash today, he was trash. He did a bad job. It's people who got the kids out selling them the dream when they go into the NFL, and they ain't nowhere near close to even being the best on the field out there, much less being NFL. Like I tell my oldest son is pretty decent. He's pretty good. But when the game, kicks in, like I'm like, you still gotta execute, just like you do in practice or whatever. Like he's great at practice, but you got to execute in the game also. So he just did great game today. He hit a home run or whatever. I mean, great game today or whatever. But it's all in teaching him to execute when it's time for the game or whatever. And so a lot of parents, like, oh yeah, you gonna go to the NFL, NBA? I'm like, bro, you got to be good, because I'm honest. I'm like, he might get a little scholarship or whatever like that. He might do decent. He might not go to the league, but he gonna do all right. And it really depends on him. It depends on his work ethic, because I'm gonna provide you the opportunity, but it's important for you to be honest. My middle son gonna be a stud. He's 3 years old right now, but dude's well ahead of where my oldest son was. He's gonna be fantastic. Every coach that watches them is like, listen, your middle son, he gonna be unstoppable, because he got that nasty attitude. He got that grit. You ain't gotta tell him to give his all. You ain't gotta tell him to turn that angry face on. He got the natural aggression. So we know he gonna be a star, because his brother also likes to coach him too. My younger son, he gonna be a big boy. He's gonna be a big boy, very big. He came out 10 pounds. He 30 pounds right now. He ain't even won yet. Bro's like 2 feet tall or whatever. But it's insane. But you have to be honest with yourself about where your children are. And right now, youth sports, I think a lot of people are using their kids and trying to live through them, and they old dreams or whatever like that. But sometimes you do gotta let a kid be a kid. Do I show that stuff on social media? Because people are like, oh, well, are you letting your son be a kid? Yeah, we only practice like an hour. Bro runs around and watches TV and eats ice cream and go out of town and stuff like normal kids do. We go to Chuck E. Cheese, we go bowling or whatever. But it's very important for people to allow their kids to be kids, because they will let kids do so much sports and they'll get out of that sport by the time they turn 14, 15. You spent all that money and they out of it. So youth sports, it's different. I mean, I ain't all the way in it yet, but from what I've been seeing, people aren't honest with themselves when it comes to the sports.
Yeah, it seems I've been hearing that too, where the kids are burning out, where they start so early. And
Yes.
my buddy has a theory, is that I was on the AU circuit, right? Like heavy from early. I played college basketball, but
Mhm.
parents didn't come to the game. Parents,
Wow.
you had the one teammate whose parents like travel with the team, but for the most part, parents
Mhm.
never came to the game. And I think because there's so
Wow.
much parents now, it's much more interaction. And unfortunately, the
Mhm.
parents didn't play a sport. They don't understand how, like, you can't
Mhm.
disrespect the coach, because the coach now loses authority and not setting a good example for the
Right.
child. They don't
Right.
understand all those dynamics. So I think because they haven't played sports and it's more parents there, there's more input that maybe shouldn't be there.
Yeah, I will say that, because I'm coaching my son's team now, and it's funny. Like they only, 5 and 6 right now, or whatever. But I'm already noticing how their parents are going to be with other coaches when they, go on. I'm not going to coach ever again. I just wanted to coach this year, just see how it was. But I'm not going to coach again, because I understand where parents are going to take it now. Like I had this one parent, he ain't gonna watch this. So this anyway, I got onto one of the kids because he disrespected his mom.
Yeah.
And I raised my voice and I'm like, hey son, I'm like, did you not hear what your mama just said? She asked you to go sit down, etc. Like he had got smart and disrespectful where everybody heard it. So I got onto him.
Yeah.
And so the dad, him and the mom not together, but the dad comes up. I had never even seen the dad, but he comes up to me and he's like, hey, can I holler at you for a second? I'm like, yo, what's up? Like that. He's like, yeah, what happened over here with him? And I'm just like, he disrespected his mom, and I got onto him. Okay, well, listen, he don't need all that. He got a mom and a daddy. You just stick to coaching him or whatever like that, and we're gonna be all right. I'm just like, that is me coaching him. I'm like, he's being disrespectful.
That is
but what you're doing is also gonna make him not coachable because can't nobody say nothing to him, and your ego hurt. And I'm just like, I purposely put my kids around other men, to make sure they understand that there are other authority figures or whatever. So like his boxing coach, etc. Like I have to tell my kids' coaches that they can get on to my kids because there is a culture of that where parents don't want the kids the coaches to get onto their kids or yell at them or get onto them or whatever. I had to personally like send my kids' coaches messages like, look, all the other kids, they can do all that little play. You can try to talk to them sweet. Mine, you get on their behind because they're going to listen and they know right from wrong already. So I told his boxing coach for this year, I'm like, listen, all that being nice to him and all that sweetness and trying to keep him on nah, bro, get on his butt. He was like, hey, I was just waiting on you to let me know. And so now he on his butt. So I don't even have to show up anymore because he know his boxing coach. I know his boxing coach going to get on his butt too or whatever. I'm not going to be like, you better not talk to my son no kind of way or you better not raise your voice at him. No, he needs to become coachable. Obviously, the people I have around him, I trust. Or whatever, I trust his boxing coach. I trust him to go spend a night with him or whatever. But of course, I would never do that. But those are people I would, call and say, hey, my son needs help. I'm hurt or something. And could you grab him? Absolutely. Or whatever. But he has to know that there are other authority figures and you have to listen to them. If you only want your son to only listen to you, then good luck. Because he had plenty of people he got to listen to in life.
I think you just summed up the reason a lot of coaches are leaving coaches and a lot of refs don't want to ref. I'm older than you, obviously, right? So I'm like that last era of blood and fire coaches, like military in a sense. You were in the military, so you had the same experience, but that's not tolerated right now, fire. Like you can't really, talk to people in that way. But I want to.
My football coaches used to, like they was when I was growing up. Let your mama come tell the football coach you did something. I'm talking about, but they'll pop your helmet or like they'll push you or make you go do stuff. Man, I was thinking about it the other day. I said, man, Coach Nelson would never survive with these parents these days. My mama be like, oh, nah, he got in trouble today at school or he did something and your coach was going to get on your butt, like for real. Like he's going to put his hands on you. And that was real. Like, and I love Coach Nelson. Like he ain't never do nothing to hurt me or nothing like that. But he let you know, like, you ain't ever going to do that again. All I did was raise my voice and tell him not to disrespect his mama. Like that was crazy, man.
And what's wild is, man, unfortunately, it's needed. I'm not talking about abuse, but it is needed, man. You need that male figure to get on to you and sorry, put you straight. All right. You spoke about this earlier, right? You said you spoke about restrictions parents could do. Can you be more exact and tell them exactly what they can do at home, what tools they can use to kind of monitor and guide digital habits?
Yeah, so iPhone has major parental controls that you all could utilize, and most people don't realize it. If you go in your settings on your phone and add your family, like you have this little family button you can press or whatever, you add them to your iCloud, and what it'll do is it'll allow you to like pick how much we just get to see how much screen time they're been on the phone. You can control their subscriptions, control their purchasing, location sharing. But parents and guardians mode or whatever, where you could go in there, go to your parental controls, and I'm looking now. You have downtime, and I'll just show you right here. You have downtime on here. You have app limits. You have all these different things here. On the parental control side or whatever. So I'll say what they are. You got communication limits. You can set limits for calling and messaging, so they can only send so many text messages per day. You have communication safety, where it'll detect certain words, certain things that are said. It also have new photo detection. And you have apps that are always allowed. You can cut apps off or they can't use it. You can shut their phone down at any moment if you want to. Like if you catch them on it at school, you can shut it down, and Apple will lock that phone to the point where they cannot use it. They can only call you and text you. So if my sister, I used to have my sister, she got in trouble, I would lock her phone down. She couldn't text or call nobody but me and her mama. That was it. It would lock her phone down completely, like to the point where she couldn't do anything on it. She couldn't press no buttons aside from calling and messaging. If you can control who they texting, you control who they calling. And this is on Android too. I got an Android phone also. You can do it for their iPads, whatever. You have major parental controls on your phone that you need to learn how to utilize. You can get on YouTube to do it, but it's going to be your best friend. It's going to tell you how often they be on that phone, what they saying, all that jazz. It's very important for you to see what's going on in your child's phone. Please utilize parental controls. It'll help you out in the long run. Keep up with your children.
Do you think parents are avoiding using parental control because they
Yes.
need to push
Yep.
back, or is it an
Yep.
ignorance?
Yep. Most parents want to be their kid's friend. That's y'all problem. Your child ain't your friend. You are their parent. I don't care if my sons don't like me. I'm not here for you to like me. I'm here to be your dad. That's what I'm here for. You'll like me in 10 years. That's totally fine. I have to remove that whole I want my kids to like me thing. I don't care if they like me. That's not what I'm here for. I don't have to like them. I'm here to be your dad, and that's what's the most important thing. I'm here for you to be my son and for me to raise you and show you the best way to be. But I'm not here to be your friend. Yeah, we can smile and laugh and have jokes or whatever like that, but I'm here to raise you, and it's very important that you do that. And people always ask the question like, when should I start like really implementing this discipline with my children? After they turn one. After they turn one, ain't nothing cute no more. They know right from wrong. Like I got a 10-month-old now. He about to turn 11 months. I already can tell he know right from wrong. Like he know when he better not go grab something, or he know what no mean. Soon as they get that idea, that's when you get on their butt about everything. Don't do that. Don't touch that. No, you don't touch that. Sit down. Stand up. Like just get on them. You start raising them then. People be want to be their kid friend and let them have fun their whole life up until they turn 10 or 11. You want to wait till you can't control them, or their minds are already, being sucked into the world. Now you want to raise them and send them to my program. No, start raising them before that. Start raising them ahead of time. Get them in some habits and routines at 2 and 3 years old. It will pay off in the end. And I promise you, just like when we go around and people like, oh my God, they're so mannerable and they know how to sit down, pay attention, and this and that, because I spent the time doing that stuff. So it's very important that all of you, do that. They're avoiding confrontation with their kids. People scared of their kids. They don't want their kids to not like them. They want to be the cool parent. I don't care about being a cool parent. I'm your parent. I don't need no adjective in front of it. I'm your parent, and that's just is what it is. So I'm not here for my sons to like me. I'm not here for them to be my friend. I'm here to parent them and raise them in the best way I know how, and so they can go and attack the world when they become adults.
No facts. And all right. So the main topic here is schools banning cell phones, right? I believe there's 77%. I have to check, but I think it's like 77% of schools across the nation that actually implemented rules for cell
Hmm.
phones. The trick is though, no one implements them, right?
Yes,
Now,
I understand that.
I think that for it to be implemented, it would have to be a fusion of accountability from the school as well as the
Hmm.
parents. And I think
Hmm.
if they lock down the phones like you mentioned, right, and the school held a standard where cell phones are not being used, it could be implemented effectively. And just by doing that, I think that productivity and learning would increase tremendously. Now, what's
Hmm.
occurring in a lot of schools, and you're aware of this, is that they do have the laws, right? Or I don't say laws, but
Hmm.
they have the rules. Admin is not holding the kids accountable.
Hmm.
So they can take the phone into school and like maybe they can use it, maybe they can't use it, but it's not a rule that you cannot use the phone. What do
Right.
you say now to parents who say, well, you know what, man, I need to contact my kid. My kid needs their cell phone. They need to have access to me. I don't want anyone taking my child's cell phone. What do you say to the parent that says that?
Stop being a bum. Straight up. We lived all through school and did not have direct access to our parents, bro. Like, if you gonna send them to school, send them to school to learn. You don't need to talk to them during the day. If you truly do need to contact your child, call the school, and I'm sure they will gladly put you in contact with your child. This whole trying to make excuses about seeing your child. Oh, I need to know where he at. Put an air tag in his book bag and keep moving. Like I don't. It's again all these excuses or whatever. But again, parents are making it tough for school systems now, because we usually get on the school systems a lot. But as I've been like maneuvering and working with kids, and I also working with our local school system, I'm realizing how hard parents are making it for children to learn at school. They're making it hard for teachers to teach. They're making it hard for the school system to be a school system. It's very tough. I was talking to our superintendent here, and he was explaining how here in Georgia, the only first legal grade you got to go to is first grade. And so he was explaining how these kids are coming to school and for one have had no discipline. They allowed to do whatever they want to do all day. They don't know like real food. All they eating is snacks and junk food. These kids are getting there, don't know their ABCs, they don't know their colors, they don't know basic stuff when they get to school. So imagine these kids going to the first grade not knowing a thing, not even know how to hold a pencil, much less think you finna tell them to sit down. That's a whole nother conversation or whatever. And then you expecting the school system, oh, the school system rates are so low, and the school system rates are the literacy rates are terrible, and this and that. Let's dig into the nuances of that conversation. Why are those kids not able to read? Why is our school system here in Albany having to make sure these kids got vision care and health care, and they're sending food home for the kids, and they're doing XYZ, and they making sure they got hygiene products, etc. Our school system here has had to become a community. But the first thing everybody wants to fuss about is the literacy rate. And I'm listening to the school superintendent tell me kids come to school don't even know what a toothbrush is, but y'all want them to focus on the literacy. No, you need to get your butt at home and read with your child, or send him somewhere where people are going to make sure he's, learning. Because it ain't, you got to think, you got one teacher, 20 to 30 kids in the classroom. They can only do so much by themselves. And they're like, oh, well, our school system, they passing kids through school with a low, they can't read. Well, you want to hold them in kindergarten? Like, I mean, this is a true question. Like, so you just want to hold 20,000 kids in kindergarten until they figure it out? It's not going to happen because you got more kids that to come in after that. So we're going to keep holding kids. By the time y'all get them the proficient in reading, it's going to take 2 or 3 years or whatever. So teachers, I mean, just like they said, they don't got no help. And parents ain't helping them. Teachers try to call home and say, hey, your child doing X, Y, Z. Mama come up to school, cussing the teacher out, etc. Got folks claiming you're lying on their kids. And I'm a witness because I had kids, parents swear we lying on them, trying to tell them what happened. We recording the kids and they telling us we lying. So I mean, it's it's a interesting day right now in regard to our kids, especially in the Black community. We don't want to be honest and we don't want to be real about what's happening in our communities, and most of it is our fault. So
I think that there's a collective self-denial in regards to the fact that we're in a parenting crisis.
Yes,
all parents are not created equal, and that the support systems or the ecosystems we used to have before, socially, economically, spiritually, they're not there, and it's being exposed in the classroom. Because even from a discipline standpoint, we're usually there was at least some adult in your life that gave you some form of discipline. If it was the neighbor, grandma, grandpa, coach, something. But now you're in an environment where it's a free fall, and that's your norm, as you said. You go to school, excuse me, and you're expecting the free fall. The teacher's trying to hold you accountable, but this is a foreign concept.
All right.
Because in your everyday life, it's just I do what I do when I want to do. So it's just I think the school exposes the whole breakdown of our community. And we're instead of saying that, the blame is on the teacher. Now, let's be clear. You have some teachers that aren't good, like in anything.
Absolutely.
But the blame is so one-sided and so unrealistic on teachers. No one wants to speak about it.
Teachers need body cams, man. Teachers need body cams. I've even wanted to do this anonymous project where I send a kid to school with a camera on and just show what's happening at school. I don't think people be realizing what really be going on at school. People don't realize their kids are terrible. Your kids are bad. Because you are at home and don't give them no rules, you never see that bad side of them. But when they get to school and it's time for rules, they're cutting the fool at school. And you get mad when a teacher calls, yo, my baby ain't doing that. I know my baby. No, you don't. You don't know little Jenny at all because you ain't spent no actual time with them. Stop lying. You don't know this child because you ain't gave them no rules. You ain't gave them no discipline. Like, I literally do stuff at home, like on purpose. Like, I just make up rules to just so they'll understand structure. on purpose. They understand that everything ain't free. My sons will tell you, what's fun? Fun ain't free, Dad. We know fun ain't free. You got to work for it. We went to this shop the other day and they saw these four-wheelers. They never saw a four-wheeler before. It's like, oh my God, we want one. I said, all right, cool. You go win that championship game on the 29th. You need to make sure you working out in the morning times. You need to make sure you killing your schoolwork. Then we can get a four-wheeler or whatever. Let's do that. Dad, can I have a snack? Yeah, give me 30 push-ups. You're gonna do something. Like it's something for everything. You everything here at my house is earned. Dad, can I play on the Nintendo Switch? Give me 50. There
I
you go.
gotta cut you, King Randall, right? So I know you've been talking about what you've been telling your kids, but we have to acknowledge the greatest thing is the example. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're an accountable person and they see it. So yeah, you say it,
Yep.
but like they see it. And unfortunately, a lot of kids,
Man.
a lot of the kids, unfortunately, especially young boys, they don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Because what threw me off with the teaching is that I started to learn, like, man, a lot of these kids never saw a man who's hygienic and dresses up every day or does
Right.
something consistently every day.
Right.
It's a sad reality, but you know how it go. Like
Yeah.
how much men do they see that's like clean every day and does something every, like you show up, whether your job or
Yep.
you show up every single day.
In order to be a man, you got to see a man. I say that all the time,
So
man.
I
It's
think that like that's why we need to have more and respect to the brothers doing it, but we have to have more or create more opportunities for young brothers to be around men consistently. I know we do. I
consistently.
know we do things one off, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's an ego thing too, the one off thing when you really
I
think
hate
about it.
I
Because
hate one-offs.
I don't
I
really
hate
see.
it. I don't
Yeah,
even participate. If somebody, people will tell you, I will turn down coming to talk to their kids. People like, can you come talk to my son? Can you bring him after school? Well,
yeah.
I can't. I'm not coming to talk to your son because I'm not finna just me talking to him one time is not gonna fix nothing. I don't care how great the conversation goes. He's gonna be back to it. If you can't bring him to Bible study and after school, et cetera, consistently, I'm not coming to talk to your kid for what? It's not going to solve nothing. He needs consistency. It took him 16 years to get that way, mom. So I'm going to need more than a one-day conversation to change his mind. So it's definitely very important for us to recognize that. But again, the ego is in the way. We don't want to say we're doing it wrong. For me, this past weekend, both of my grandfathers died. My mom, dad died, and my
Oh
dad
man,
died.
sorry to hear, man. Condolences.
Yeah, yeah, but people have heard me talk about them often in interviews.
Yeah.
But they spoke and gave so much, and I called them and my uncles for wise counsel. I don't have no big ego or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be like, hey, what should I do about XYZ? Or call them about, women issues, whatever. Hey, what do y'all think? What y'all think should happen with this? Or what decision should I make about that? I understand I don't know it all. Or even like trying to be an influencer, etc. Like you have to be able to accept that your content might have been trash today, or your setup might be terrible, or this may be bad, or whatever. Like you have to accept that and take accountability. So I mean, it's nobody want to admit, what they're doing something wrong, and that's a problem.
We're hold on, someone said here. And before we cut, I'm gonna ask King Randall one more question, but if someone else has a question in the chat, I appreciate if you could put it in there so we can answer for it. Also, make sure you show some love here. I never knew TV on the Cash App vibe. All right, this is what I want to ask you, right?
Mhm.
So I had to write this one down. Special question for you. As you matured and developed, right, as both an educator and a leader, how has your approach to working with youth evolved, especially around technology and discipline? Because when I first met you, you matured and your mind has your views have grown tremendously, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
And that repetition, being around kids, reflecting on yourself, like, man, I could have did this better, this and that, having a
Hmm.
deeper understanding of youth. How have you evolved in regards to your whole approach to youth?
Man, I've grown in a million ways when it comes to youth. The way my program looks now, it does not look the same like it used to. There was a time where I used to, like, if parents brought me their kids and they like they ain't want to do nothing, I would force them to do it. Like, no, you're gonna learn this stuff. You're gonna sit down and do the right thing and blah blah blah. Like I used to get on to those kids. Then had a light bulb go off because one of the students I had in the program went home to tell his mom. He said, "Ma, I enjoy the program." He said, "But man," he said, "them kids so bad, mama." He was just like, it's like Mr. King ain't even got time to do the stuff because we so busy doing discipline because they don't want to listen or they don't want to pay attention, et cetera, et cetera. So I said, I said, over the 6 years, well, at that time, 5 years, over the 5 years I've been doing this, how many kids have I lost who actually wanted to be here? Because I'm trying to force these kids who don't want to be here to get it. And so my mind changed. If a child does not want to be in my program or don't want to pay attention, I tell them bye. I understand it. Mama, this ain't the program for him. He don't want to be here because I had spent so much donors' money and spent so much time and effort, etc., trying to get them to want to get it, to them having to go to jail or to them having to have a baby or to them having to do all this stuff to finally get it. Life had to punch them in the face to get it. Versus those kids who really was paying attention, who really wanted to be there, who really was trying to get the teaching, but they had to get punished or they lost out because those kids who didn't want to be there ruined the experience. So now a kid got like maybe 2 or 3 times to tell me he don't want to be at the program. I understand, young man. You ain't got to be here. Mama call, oh mama, please, Mr. King, please. No, 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 no. He can't be here. He don't want to be here. We're not gonna make him be here. So that's a very, very important thing that I do now, and I'm glad to do it because it saves my children. It saves the kids who truly want it, and I'm able to have a bigger impact. Yeah, I may have impacted those kids, but I'm really able to build well-rounded men because they want it. It's easier to, we can bring a kid or a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. So I got horses at the water who are willing to drink, and that's who we're gonna keep teaching. But yeah, sometimes you got to realize, because I used to be like, oh, there's not one kid I can't help or one kid I can't save. Man, hey, someone too far gone and someone you can't do nothing with. So
you're a good brother. I'm gonna tell you why. It sounds like you were suffering from white saviors complex, but black saviors complex, right?
Yep.
Because what occurs is that, and this is one of the biggest gripes I have with education, is that when you have disruptive forces taken away from the learning of others, not only does it take away from their education, it also takes away from generational earning potential. Because that child is stripped of the repetition of learning that they're supposed to get. And a lot of times it lowers their ability to earn in life. So I'm glad you saw that. Now, that's why I was laughing when you said it, because it's like the man said, yo, I was trying to save everybody, but it clicked. So no, that's a big thing. I want to we have some questions here. Independent POV. Do you think black men have ambition but lack direction? And if there is lack of direction, what course should they go to?
I think
You're good.
Okay, there we go. Wait. My dang crap keep freezing.
Then I believe it's Mesha. We'll put up your question next. If anyone else has a question, please throw it in there. We'll be on for we'll do about 10, 15 more minutes.
Okay, you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, it just wouldn't unmute for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, I do think a lot of men do have ambition, much ambition, but definitely do lack direction. So if you lack direction, I tell people to get busy. And what I mean by getting busy is do something. Because sometimes when people lack direction, they think the best idea is to just sit around or not do anything. And I'm like, no, I found more purpose when I got busy. And I just started with working in the community. Because even with having ambition, when having ambition, you have an idea of where you might want to go or whatever. So just go ahead and start getting in that direction in general. And then as you're starting to work, it'll come to you. But you have to be able to start working in the first place, because people be asking God for they purpose and ain't doing nothing. They just be sitting around every day. Oh, God, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? And they just sit on the couch watching TV every day. No, get out and go do something, and your purpose will smack you or whatever. So you'll see it, you'll feel it. God will give it to you then, but God only helps those who help themselves. You walking around, sitting around doing nothing, yeah, you ain't gonna develop no purpose. You're just gonna be sitting there. But definitely when you have ambition, you have an idea. Ain't no way you got ambition and don't have the first idea about nothing. You got an idea about something. And I always say, start working, no matter where you at. Or if you see people that you look up to that are in your area, that are close to you, then I would say go shadow those people. Go shadow some people who are doing great work. Go shadow the people who you think you look up to, especially in your local community. There's somebody in your local community that's doing some good work that you may look up to. Your chief of police, a judge, some teachers, whatever. go assist and figure out what it is that they're doing, and you may run into your purpose. That's what I believe in. Just get busy.
No, serious thing. And I want to add to that, if we could talk about what about that fear a lot of brothers have. We got to add that to the question, that fear.
I mean, my question is then, is where you are now more important than where you're trying to go? Ah,
I like that
that's
one.
just that's just straight up. I mean, if you like where you at now, then stay there. If you too scared to jump out there, stay there. Nobody's gonna make you do it. If you too scared, by all means. But I will tell you, as a man, your life is stressful. That just is what it is. If you trying to do something
Facts.
monumental, it is stressful. You is not finna have no life where it ain't no stress and ain't nothing to do. If ain't nothing to do, you ain't doing nothing. Like I got something to do every single day when I get up. It's something to do. Kids, after school, whatever, putting this together, putting that together. It ain't a dull moment because I got stuff to do. And so it makes you feel good because a man likes when he feels needed. A man likes to feel like Superman. Like people like, oh man, you got all this stuff on your shoulder, man. I do, but I love it. I love waking up every morning, putting that cape on, and everybody needs me. Like, so let me run around and go help everybody, and let me go do what I can. You love that as a man. That just it feeds you. It makes you want to get up every single day. Like my dog needs me to go take him out while he over here tearing stuff up right now. Like he want me to go take him outside, and he want me. I gotta bathe him and take him to the groomer and take him to the vet and go take the kids to the dentist tomorrow. And this is like I love that. That's my thing. Like I love the after school program needs me. I love when stuff goes wrong, so I can go run and save the day. Oh man, we locked the key in the van. All right, I'm on my way. You know, like I love that. You gotta that's something you're gonna love to love. Like you gotta love the grind. You gotta love the nasty. You gotta love that terribleness. Like you gotta love all of it. But it if you stick to it, the great things that eventually do happen is worth all that bad stuff that you had to deal with. Because them little short victories, eh, eh, and I'd rather have my 1 month of stressed out and then this big grand thing that happens after that month, versus having those little short victories every single day. Bump them short victories, man. Play the long game. I promise you'll love it. It'll pay off.
Facts. So we have one more here from Mesha. I hope I'm saying your name properly. So is there such a thing as a child that can't be saved, or do some kids need a little bit more work, or do you need a little bit more help as a teacher?
Now, I truthfully believe that people have allowed their kids to go so far to the point where they cannot be saved at that moment. Like they just can't. Sometimes life has to teach them, life has to smack them in the face, and then it gives them what they need. But yeah, there are children whose minds are too far gone. Some of these guys on the corner, you can give them every ounce of help in the world, but they 16, them been in the streets the whole time, have had no help, no assistance. All they know is, degeneracy, etc. Life gonna have to punch them. Yeah, you can come talk to them. We can send them to all the counseling programs. We can call 10 judges to come talk to them. We can have them live at the chief of police house, and they still gonna cut up. Like it's sometimes life gotta smack them. And so I've had many students who run through the program, have been there, have done all the teaching. I've taught them. I've had people come teach them. I've had so much help with them, so much staff, but they don't never call me back until they've been to jail. Oh, Mr. King, I'm in jail now, but I want to get together. All that stuff you try to teach me, I understand it now. Mr. King, I got a baby on the way, man. But I appreciate all the stuff you tried to teach me, when I was growing up. Oh, Mr. King, I understand it now. I got into it, Yeah, you understand it after something has happened. What I want to do now, which is why we took our age groups down to 7 to 9. I used to do 11 to 17. I'm taking my age groups down now to 7 to 9 because I want to catch these children before they lose themselves. I don't want to try and catch them in that age range where they're already gone. Yeah, there are programs for that type of thing, but some of those kids at that point, they have to want it. They have to want to do it. But at age 7 to 9, you are just looking for somewhere where it's cool to do the right thing. You
Facts.
want to go do those things your mama telling you to do. You want to do the right thing, but everybody at school picking on you. Why would I want to do the right thing if ain't nobody like praising me for it, or I'm not getting rewarded for it, or I'm not like, so yeah, I would start being bad too, because shoot, that's who get all the attention. They get to go here and there. I'm making all A's and doing my thing, and I don't get nothing. So they let me start being bad or whatever like that. But I have created an atmosphere and an environment for these kids where doing the right thing gets you rewarded. doing the right thing and being in a space where you can go after school and know that you can be yourself and do what your mama been asking you to do and listen and do your homework and get praised for it. We've created that environment for them. And so that's what we created with the Extra Boys program. And so that's what younger kids are looking for. They're just looking for somewhere where it's cool to do things. That's it.
Man, I don't want to keep you, but you brought up another great point, man. One, salute to you for keeping your ego in check, because some people will say, hey, you know, I got the 7 to 17, I have to do it. And I say, hey, it's not working. And I have to reevaluate and shift, right? This saving kids thing, I think that a lot of times is done from a selfish aspect, because you can't save someone who doesn't want to be saved. And that's a part of the conversation you're talking about. Like, a lot of these people you want to help, unfortunately, I don't want to say they don't want to be helped. I want to be clear. They don't want to be helped at this moment.
Right.
They're not at a point where they want help. So too much time and resources. I think we need more discernment, not giving up on people, but meeting them where they are and just being realistic about the situation. Because I think we have this idea. I personally think that too much time is spent trying to help those who don't want to be helped instead of pushing up those who want to be helped.
Yep, absolutely. We have to create environments for that. And of course, once you saturate the area with all those people who wanted to help, eventually everybody will start wanting to help, because now we've created an atmosphere where those people who wanted to help, we're able to create a new community. It takes time, but you just got to be able to be patient and put in the work for it. So I definitely appreciate you bringing me on, man. Absolutely.
And last thing, resilience for those listening. Obviously, this young brother's out here doing big things, and I know he goes through a lot. I don't even know what he goes through. How do you stay focused? How do you stay encouraged, not being discouraged? And how do you keep fighting a good fight?
You know, as I mentioned before, man, every man want to be wanted, and every man want to be Superman, and that's what I do. You know, every day. I love it. Like, you know, I mentioned my grandfathers both passed away this weekend, and my mom and my dad are taking it extremely hard. But I'm responsible for arranging both funerals. I picking caskets. I gotta get outfits. I gotta do that. But also, I tell people all the time, with all that happening, guess what happens when I wake up in the morning? My kids still want some cereal. So I still have to keep moving. And on top of that, you know, just being thankful for the lives they lived or whatever like that. But on top of that, part of me loves doing this. I know my mom and them need me. I know my dad, they calling me both every day right now. And they just boo-hooing and trying to check on me for the other one. I'm just like, guys, like, I'm good. Like, y'all need to take care of yourself or whatever. But I enjoy that I'm needed by my family right now. I enjoy that my sons, you know, still need me to be behind them. All of that encourages me every day. What would discourage me is you know, not having nothing to do, not being able to stand in the way, you know, and help my children and things like that. I have to do those things. It's very important for me. So I mean, that's how I stay grounded, man. I love the product, you know, of what I'm doing. I love to see the accomplishments, you know, with my children. Love to see the accomplishments with my students, etc. And you know, I'm responsible for doing both eulogies because that's exactly what they wanted. So I'm doing both of their eulogies, and I'm happy to do so. I'm happy to get up there and do what they want me to do. I'm happy to get up there and share messages about my grandfathers. They meant a lot. I talk about them often. Can't wait to do it. You know, like I'm excited about it. I love that thing. So as a man, you gotta want, I love it. I love my family. I love what they mean to me, and I love what I mean to everyone else. That's what get me up every day. I be excited to jump up because I'm like, all right, the kids need me. All right, my mom needs me. I'm ready to go. After school program needs me. And you know, my little self-care is, man, when my kids, I send them, you know, maybe during the day with their mom or something like that, man. And I just sit at home. I watch wrestling on Mondays and Fridays. Yeah, I do. I watch my wrestling, man. I play a little video games here and there, and that's it. That's my thing. I be straight, man. I eat me a little food, play with my dog and fuss at him or whatever because he be cutting up. But other than that, man, that's it. I love it. I love my life. I just had to create a life that I didn't want to have to get away from.
Facts. So, once again, man, thank you so much for coming on, sharing the wisdom.
Yes, sir.
Keep up the mighty works, you know.
I appreciate it. Absolutely.
I respect.